interviewed by 3 women at the same time.
No, I was thinking that I haven't. Maybe 3 men, but not 3 women.
The camera is rolling.
Fantastic.
And everybody stops talking.
I know. Exactly.
Action?
That's how we go.
All right.
Well, first of all, thank you so much for letting us interview you. I really appreciate this. This is huge for us.
This is
absolutely huge. We've
awesome.
been fans
Larry
for
King
years.
is coming back for this one.
We've been fans for a long time, and we started. Simone and I started the show 4 years ago. And one of the first goals was, okay, at what point can we get a fucking angel?
He's in Mexico, do it!
And then we were actually like telling people, send us funds so that we can afford to bring you out here so that we can
Wow.
Before Kickstarter, yeah.
you know, before that all started and everything. So it was just so wonderful. Thank you. I appreciate you
Thank you.
responding to my tweets.
Awesome.
Everything is so great.
Well, I was telling her that I am not a diva nor a star. I don't even think of myself. So people want to say, "Well, you're Buck Angel. You have to worry about this," or. But I don't know. I don't really. I know it. Don't get me wrong, but I don't feel that, and I don't want people to get that impression of me. I want people to know that your show is important, and just because I'm that doesn't mean that I can't do a show that might not be Oprah. Do you know what I mean? It's important for me to be able to put myself across the board.
You care about your fans.
I'm accessible to everybody.
You answer your own email.
I totally do.
I love
That's
that.
very
Totally
important.
answer them.
That's very important to me.
Mm-hmm.
People think I'm a snot. They do. People think I'm like. I'm not. I'm very.
All you have to do is watch you speaking in a few of your clips. Like,
But I just want you to know that I really appreciate you asking.
That's
me,
great.
and I feel very honored to.
Thank you.
I've dubbed you the Henry Rollins of
She
transport.
totally did. She totally did. When we were in Scarlet. Awesome.
Where do you want to go? All right, where do you want to go?
Well, I was going to ask you. Do you
Yeah.
think that the air conditioner is fucking you guys up?
The sound?
No.
No,
I'm just asking.
we're pretty loud and duck.
No, you're smart for this day.
You know, because I make movies, so I'm always
Right,
The air
we're
conditioner
always
will go
thinking about
off.
it. Yeah. I think about it too, and then I'm like, yeah, but I don't want to be hot sweaty.
Exactly.
Hot and sweaty, a little bit of noise. Hot and sweaty, a little bit of noise.
Right, exactly.
Okay, I have something good to just dive in deep.
Do it.
In the book Radical Ecstasy, Janet Hardy talks about having cock energy. She talks about her cock, even though it's energy or it's silicone.
Okay.
She feels it. When did you have? What feelings have you had? Like, what is your journey? Like,
Regarding my cock?
yes, regarding your
You know what's
energy
weird?
and how you fuck. And
Yeah, how I fuck. It's weird. My vagina is my cock. Like, really, when I say my vagina, I really embraced my vagina. I don't even really think about my cock. I don't have a cock. I have a pussy, and my pussy is fucking powerful. And I have to tell you, like, wow. It's like I can't even explain it. It's like I honestly really had an awakening. That like people say they got like sucked up into a UFO and were gone for 10 years. That's how I feel. Like it's like just this feeling I want to share with people. Like if you embrace, and I mean that all across the board from men to women, if you embrace your vagina, you will just change your life. Because as we know, lots of cis or bio women, they don't embrace their fucking vagina. Like, wow, it's hard enough for a man for me to embrace. I feel so bad when a woman can't embrace her vagina. It's just like, wow.
When I saw some of your PSA work, that I think is so amazingly important.
Thank you,
So
thank you.
I mean, straight women, every kind
Thank
of
you.
woman needs to be doing that kind of health work.
Yes.
It's so amazingly important.
And nobody it's not
no
weird.
one's talking about it.
Isn't that weird? And so when I came up with the idea to do my PSAs, because I wanted to sort of move my pornographic work into another arena, and I wasn't able to do it with just my pornographic work. So PSAs were sort of like my very first thing that put me into the situation. Oh, he's an educator. It's sort of, and I thought, well, I got to do PSAs that are gonna, fuck with people's heads. That are gonna say, oh my God, I never thought a man needed to go to the gynecologist.
It's the one of you in the stirrups with the gynecologist underneath. That was the one.
Totally.
But you know, the tragedy we've talked about on the show is that young men don't have that first appointment like girls have.
Right.
You know,
That's true.
their penis
Clearly.
isn't getting checked out, their
Right.
testicles, all of that.
Right,
And
right.
It's a shame.
Which
No,
needs
it
to
is.
happen.
Yeah,
There's
it totally needs to
many
happen.
things that could happen are going to happen between 18 and 24.
Yep.
I mean, think about a young trans guy. Okay, a young trans guy who still has his vagina and has to go to the gynecologist as a woman.
Right.
You can't really, there's gynecologists that do not have the understanding.
Right.
Of that is so traumatic. It's traumatic for
It's
just
very
like an
traumatic.
adult trans person, but for a younger trans person to have to deal with his vagina is like, it's just like you could change that person's life in the sense that they will be such a more grounded person if at 13 or 14 they're able to sort of just be like, my vagina is me, I'm a dude, it's not a big deal.
I remember I contacted you many, many months ago because there was a client who contacted me, a trans man who was having serious, serious vagina hate. And I had contacted you and said, what do I say to this person who is just in this such depth of loathing about their own bodies and won't allow themselves any pleasure, any sexual release, nothing, because they want nothing to do with that part of their body, nor do they want anyone else to acknowledge it.
No, it's horrible. It's like, it's crazy, but guys ask me that a lot. How do you get to the point where you're at? That's a very difficult question to answer for me. And I was watching something earlier about being vulnerable. And you know, I realized when I was watching the show, I got a little teary-eyed. And I thought, you know what? I am vulnerable. I am very vulnerable. When people say things to me or about me, I get really offended by it because I'm not that way. But like, to be vulnerable around your vagina is so, it is very kind of like, unless you're really at grips with it, imagine, like, those guys are like, how do I get to that point, Buck? How do I be like you? And I think being vulnerable is how you get to that point. Just being out there and letting yourself be out there. And then, like, it's like kind of like, I don't know how to explain it. Do I sound like a wingman?
No, I think the tragedy is that the operation hasn't been perfected. They can't make a penis yet. That's the tragedy.
And I'm not, okay, we need to clear that real quick because I'm not anti-penis. A lot of people will tell you that I am because I posted pictures of a man's vagina, a man's penis, trans man's surgical implanted penis, and I was like, this is why I don't. It wasn't his face or anything, it was just the penis. And this is why I don't. And I'm honest, this is why I don't. I don't want a penis that looks like that, and I don't want a penis that works. It is no in way disrespectful to anybody else's penis. I'm just saying this is why I don't want to get it. And I would hope that the trans men would want to have a better penis than that and stop just sort of just being okay with us given that.
Never happened.
It's been over 20 years that I wanted to have a penis that looks exactly the same of 20 years ago when I was
It hasn't advanced.
Come on, guys. If you want to have a penis, that's fucking awesome. But why don't you fight to get it made better?
Right.
It's like, don't just be satisfied with that. I'm kind of like really disturbed by the fact that these guys are just like, okay, well, that's the penis I get. That's what I'm gonna have. No, man, fuck that.
Well, if they've never had an orgasm with their vagina, then I mean, you fully. Well, all we have to do is watch your porn, and you're having an orgasm. It's like, you know.
Why waste that? You know what I mean? That's the whole other thing. These guys aren't having sex.
We can't take that for granted that you found that.
No, not at all. I didn't do that. From 28 years, I didn't do that because I wasn't comfortable with myself. You know, like what a shame. So a lot of guys are not who have vaginas. They don't even have sex or get close to that.
Yeah.
And it's like, wow. It's like, I don't know. I feel so passionate about sending out that message of it's not just your vagina, it's your body, it's yourself, it's your sexuality, it's everything that everyone else is telling you you can't be or you don't want to be. However you want to be, just be it and tell everybody else to fuck off, basically.